Today we're going to be talking about prenuptial agreements. You hear celebrities have them all the time. Kanye West sings about it. But do you really know what a prenup is, who they're for, and what even goes in them? Hi, I'm Christy Zlatkus, family law attorney here in Rockville, Maryland, and today we're going to tell you all about prenups. What is a prenup? That's a really simple thing to answer. A prenup is a contract. It's a set of rules agreed on by you and your soon-to-be spouse about how you're going to govern your marriage, about what you're going to do when life circumstances arise, and unfortunately, if you end your marriage, how you're going to handle the end of that marriage. And guess what? I got news for you. Are you married? You have a prenup. You do. Your prenup is a set of rules set up by the state in which you live and lawmakers in that state, and it governs your marriage. And you had no say. It doesn't look anything like you. It's a mass-produced set of rules that you get to live by. If you and your spouse want to live by your own rules, take the bull by the horns, go see an attorney, and write the rules for your own marriage. Second thing, who's a prenup for? Isn't it just for rich people or celebrities or famous people? No. A prenup is for anyone getting married. Anyone getting married has to live under that same contract, so you might as well write one that fits you. What goes in your prenuptial agreement? Well, a lot of things can go in your prenuptial agreement. How do you and your spouse want to handle your finances? What happens if one of you decides to stay home to raise children or take care of elderly parents? Do the two of you believe in alimony? If so, how do you want that to play a factor in your marriage? What's going to happen to property that you owned before your marriage or property that you get after you get married? What about if you start a business? What's going to happen with that? Figuring out all of those things ahead of time, and don't forget, a prenuptial agreement is a living document, so you might have to revise it a few times over your marriage. But figuring these things out together is making a plan for your marriage and making a plan for your life together. One of the things I always say is couples that have a prenuptial agreement are going into their marriage with eyes wide open. They're going to know exactly what the other person has, and they're going to have talked about these really important issues. So sit down with a pen and paper, talk through these issues with your soon-to-be spouse, and write your plan down. So we talked about what goes in your prenup, but we didn't talk about what doesn't go in your prenup. You may have heard of some really crazy prenuptial agreement clauses. Things like, you can't gain weight beyond a certain amount, or if you cheat on your spouse, then you have to pay them X number of dollars. Okay, these are fun to think about, and sometimes people do put them in their prenups, but the reality is they're often not enforceable, and they certainly aren't great for having a stronger marriage going forward. The other thing that you cannot put in your prenuptial agreement is custody of future children. Guys, you don't even know if you're going to have kids, how many you're going to have, what the needs of those children are going to be, or what each of your abilities as parents are going to be, not before they even exist. So custody of future children, that's not going in your prenup either. And if you do put it in there, it's probably not enforceable. Prenups are romantic. You heard me right. What could possibly be more romantic than looking your loved one in the eye and saying, I love you so much that even if someday I don't, even if something happens that we're not anticipating, I'm going to require myself to treat you with the same love, the same respect, and the same dignity that I feel for you and that I treat you with today. I'm going to do that because I'm going to require that of myself when I put it down in this piece of paper. When you're ready to start talking about your prenuptial agreement with your soon-to-be spouse, come and give us a call. We know it can be an awkward duck conversation. How do you start talking about your divorce when you're still planning the wedding? We got tips. We've talked a lot of couples through this. It's an important conversation to have. My favorite way to start it, you don't buy insurance planning to get in a car accident, and you don't get your prenup planning to get in a divorce. You have it because you want that stronger marriage, because you want that contract that matters to you and that matches your relationship. So sit your sweetheart down, tell him I love you, and let's have that conversation.